Hey everybody, Chef Ian here, Nashville City Club. Just want to take a little bit of time and just shout out to you, tell you hi. Hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys are doing all right inside quarantine or at work or wherever you guys are going. I just wanted to bring you in just a little bit to show you what we do here. Right now, what I want to show you how to make is what they call papas bravas, which is a Spanish-style potato. So for this, I'm going to have potatoes, obviously. These are Yukons, any kind of work, Idahos, red potatoes. Although potatoes vary in starch, shouldn't make a difference much with this dish. This dish is used as basically a side in Spain, but here at the City Club, this comes on every single steak you order. So if you order a steak, one of our delicious Allen Brothers fillets or Allen Brothers New York strips, these will come with it. So hopefully you'll come down and enjoy one of those with us today. So what else I have a little bit of salt. This is going to be 1/4 of a cup kosher salt. I have just regular tap water, cold, and then I have a pot with a little bit of oil in it. This oil is going to be canola oil. It's what I'm going to use to fry in today. I'm sure most of you don't have deep fryers at home, so this will be an easy alternative. You can also saute these with butter and garlic if you're not looking for a deep fried product. Be a little different in texture, but not too much. So what we're going to start with is the potato. Now, when you cook potatoes and bring them up to temperature, you want to start with cold water and then put it on the heat. And I'll buzz through this and get through this a little bit quicker and cut away so you guys can see the final product and you don't have to watch me just sit here and talk for 15 minutes while water boils. So, alright, first thing you do, take your chef's knife, whatever knife you feel most comfortable with. You're going to take the potato, slice it right down the middle. You're going to have 2 halves, and then you're going to slice those right down the middle. So you're going to end up with these nice little potato wedges. So you're going to take these potato wedges, and I'm sorry if I'm left-handed, I know that's a little bit difficult, but you'll take the knife and cut diagonally, turn it straight forward to make another triangle, cut diagonally, turn it back, cut diagonally, turn it back, cut diagonally, and you'll end up with these nice little shapes. We'll do these with all the potatoes, and then we'll just toss them in the water. And then we're going to get that water onto the heat. So at this point, as you can see, I've done about 6 potatoes in here. You probably won't need that much to feed your family or whoever you're with. But for purposes of the restaurant, I've got about 6 in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the salt straight to the top. So you can add this salt before, you can add this salt after. The most important part is that it's dissolved. So we have cold water, salt, and cubed potatoes. You want to keep these cubes kind of similar in size so they cook evenly. If you get a couple small ones in there, that's fine. Once these come out, some of them will kind of disintegrate if they're smaller, but that's still not a problem. So we'll take this, and now we're going to put it on the heat. What we're doing now is bringing this on the heat, and we're slowly going to bring it to a boil. Once it's at a boil, we're going to set a timer for about 10 minutes. So once this gets to a boil, I'll start showing you, and we'll set a timer, and then we'll skip to the next step. Hey everybody, welcome back. So what we're doing now, we have the potatoes in the water with the salt. The salt is dissolved and has started to boil. So at this point, what's smart is to, while this is boiling, first set a timer. We're going to set a 10-minute timer. Set. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the oil that we had and we're going to put it on a medium-low heat. Now, oil is tricky, oil is dangerous. Like I said before, you can saute this in butter and garlic and get just as good of a product once it's done. But you want to bring that oil up slowly. Now, everybody knows oil and water doesn't mix, but when it's hot, it's dangerous. So what we're going to have to do is bring that up slowly while these boil. So about 10-15 minutes, that oil should be ready to go. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so welcome back. I've got my Bravas in the water. They've got about a minute or so left on them. I also have here, I have my oil, which I've been heating up on another stove at a medium-low heat, very slowly. I have a slotted spoon, and I have a colander. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take the potatoes, dump them into the colander, and let them dry. Now, why is that important? Anybody who's worked around hot oil knows if you put some water in oil, it pops. It gets dangerous. So we're going to make sure that these are as completely dry as we can. We don't want to let them sit out for hours at a time, but definitely give them about 5 minutes to kind of let the water drain out through the colander. All right. So I'm going to take the colander, put it in my sink back here with my 2 towels because this might be hot. I'm going to grab my potatoes, just dump them in. I'm going to put this back on a medium-low heat because I've had it all the way up for boiling. I'm going to put my oil back on there. I have about a quarter of this pot full of oil, so in case there's any pop-up or anything, you don't want to add all these Bravas at once, maybe a couple orders at a time. I'm going to set that on there. And right here, show you the Bravas. So what we have here is a Papas Bravas before it's been fried or sauteed. So if you want to look at it, it's going to be kind of, you can just break it apart with your hand. That's what you want. You want to know these are done before you fry them. That's the beautiful part about this. You can make them as crispy as you want. You can make them as light and flaky as you want. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to let these dry for another 5 minutes and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So I have a little bit of Bravas here. This is about 1.5 cups. I would say this is about enough for one person. I have the oil set at about 350 degrees. If you don't have a thermometer, that's fine. We're leaving it on a low medium heat for about 15-20 minutes. It's going to bring it up to just about that temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my slotted spoon so I can extract them, and these will take about 3 minutes to cook. Now if you want these crispier, leave them in longer. But you should be able to tell just by looking at them like that they're done because they're already cooked again on the inside. So without splashing, I'm going to carefully dump them in. Get you a little better camera shot. Now you can see these are rolling pretty hard. This is why you don't want to put too many of these in here at one time because it can create a lot of bubbling and you don't want it to overflow. This could start a fire, yada, yada, yada. One way I would do this on the other side is I would start off with a little bit of butter in a pan, get that kind of nice and hot and melted, add a little bit of garlic and just saute these in. You might not get the crispy texture that you would get with this, but it's still a delicate potato. It's still going to taste good. As long as you season it, seasoning is very important. So these, I'm going to stir these around a little bit so they don't bunch up. Hopefully you can see it. This has been about a minute in. You can kind of see how they're looking. They're starting to get golden, but not quite. So I'm going to keep stirring these. I can't stress enough, just be careful with the oil. Make sure that it stays on a low heat. Make sure that the water stays away from the oil. I probably have about, I would say, 5 to 6 cups of canola oil in here, just enough to cover what I need. Not overflowing, it's about halfway up this pan. This is a 2-gallon pot. So as I'm stirring, you can kind of see they're getting more and more golden brown. You're getting that delicious looking flavor, texture, looking stuff here with these potatoes. This isn't something you want to walk away from for sure. You kind of want to stand here and make sure that things are going right, because if you walk away from this, you know, you got burnt potatoes. Who wants that? So on our timer, we got another minute. Setting our timer for 2 minutes, because they've already been down for about 1, and I'm just going to let these cook. Now, like I said before, each one of these goes on one of our steaks, our Allen Brothers steaks. We have fillets, we have ribeyes. I cook them all day long. Love cooking them for you. Probably one of the tastiest strips I've ever had in my life, and I'm a pretty big meat eater, pretty big carnivore. So if you like meat, love to cook one for you. Give it a little shot. You see they're getting more and more golden brown. You can reuse this oil if you'd like to. I would use some sort of fine strainer to get the little small bits out, but make sure before you do that that this is completely cool. Don't do that with hot oil. I've seen people mess up with oil all kinds of different ways. It's never fun. Make sure it's completely cool. Maybe run it into some sort of container you have, preferably metal or glass. You can even do plastic, but just make sure that it's cool, like I said. So we got about 50 seconds on here. You can see that the skins are kind of coming off. That's okay. That just adds more flaky texture. And this is good for just a side for a steak. This is good for if you want to do a bunch of these, for any kind of gathering you have in the future, obviously. But for right now, I'm just going to make one order and show you what it looks like. I'll taste it. Always taste your food to make sure it tastes the way you want it to. It's seasoned correctly. I'll tell you it tastes good, but if you want to find out, you're just going to have to try it yourself. All right, so I got 10 seconds. I'm going to turn off my timer. Now you can see how golden and flaky they look. Use my slotted spoon, kind of drip some of the oil off. Thank you, timer. And while it's hot, it's important to season potatoes because while it comes fresh out of the oil, salt and pepper will stick to it. Now you can do anything you want. You can add a little bit of garlic powder. You could add a little bit of smoked paprika to make these completely Spanish-style potatoes if you wanted to. Just a couple pinches of sugar. Sorry, salt and pepper. Give them a little toss. And there you have it, a perfect Papas Bravas right there. Nice and golden brown. You can see, nice and flaky. Taste your food. A little hot. Oh, delicious. So guys, if you want to see what else we're doing down here, if you want me to cook a steak for you, put some Papas Bravas on it, give us a call. One of the best steaks in the city right now. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll do some more of these, and hopefully in the very near future I'll be seeing you all personally, myself at the club. Thanks.